Hey there, Coastal Bend. Chris Thomasson along with Alan Holt. It's like a sports weather collab today.
Yeah. So I'm always curious about how in the world you come up with these preseason rankings, because there's no what I see is there really isn't a. I guess Dave Campbell's thing is out there, but I don't think I know of anyone that is as plugged in to the Coastal Bend high school football scene as you.
Yeah.
So why not pick your brain about why these teams are ranked where they are?
Yeah, and I mean they're not the look, here it is. It's all just a crapshoot. This is projecting what you think is going to happen, and what teams look like in week one are not necessarily what they're going to look like in November when they're heading into the playoffs. So. Again, it's all just projection. So some of the ratings are based on what teams look like right now. Some of the rankings are based on what these teams are projected to be throughout the season.
So just going back to my marching band days in high school, I know things like passing and failing, that can alter the season maybe of a team if one of your star players is not eligible for
grades.
Grades, things like that. So I know that was a thing. Sorry, my chair's going to be going down here too. But we're on this thing live, and we're also going to be taking questions as we go. So
I think the best way for the questions, the Facebook page.
The Facebook page, that's where we're both watching. I've got it pulled up right here. There's only about 50 people on right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of take our time. This will take a little bit because we got the small schools and the large schools. We're going to go through some of the teams that maybe just missed the cut, and we'll talk about those a little bit. Some of these were really, really difficult. Even I went back and forth.
We were texting today,
and had you switch a graphic. So
I do want to mention also that this is live right now.
Yep.
But right now for us is 8:19 on August the 25th. So if you're watching at a different time, it's not live anymore.
The good thing is that this will live forever on the internet.
Yeah.
So if I'm just completely terrible at this,
you're good.
Then it'll live in infamy, and everyone can tag me each week and say, "Hey, man, that was a terrible pick." So
welcome to my life in weather forecasting.
Yeah.
Let me see if this is going to work here. Just pull them all up.
But not all of them.
That's no. Just wanted to make sure. See, if I went with this view, we'd have to really get close to each other to be on the cam.
So I might get a little uncomfortable.
I didn't brush my teeth after dinner tonight. So, what'd you have for dinner?
I had little chicken sliders. It was great, but I did brush my teeth coming back.
You did?
I didn't want any, anything in the teeth on the way back. So.
I mean, I did the mirror check.
The V-Mix is very close.
It is.
Closer than TV.
Yeah. So you had chicken sliders.
It's pretty solid, yeah.
What else?
Ranch beans.
Okay, ranch beans.
Yeah.
Anything for dessert?
A couple of chocolate chip cookies.
Okay. Yeah.
That's kids had them out. I figured I'd
important stuff.
Snag some too. So
this is what we're doing on dinner breaks. On a Monday.
Yeah,
so,
on a Monday.
We've got this first slate of teams. Why do you break them up big versus small? What's the deal here? 2A, 3A.
Yeah, so I mean, really, it's to get more teams ranked, because you could have just 5 teams, and then but it's also really hard to compare because you don't get the 5As and the 4As playing the 2As. Now there is some crossover. You get 4A, 3A. 2A, 3A, that type thing. But you're like a few years ago, the big joke was like Refugio should play Cal Allen and see what happens. Mm-hmm. But those matchups just don't happen. So, that's why I think it's always important to have, one and then the other.
So like this one, we're starting out with just a couple, why are these teams to watch? Or they have a high upside? What's going on in Three Rivers?
Yeah, so these 3, let's go the teams that just missed the cut. Bishop, Odom, and Three Rivers. Now, for 2 of these teams, you're going to hear a really big theme this year, especially in the small schools, a season of change, especially a lot of new coaches at these schools. And so Three Rivers will start. Really good season last year under Coach Cornegie. Now Jesse Garcia takes over. He was promoted They've got a lot of new faces out there at Three Rivers, so there's a lot to prove for the Bulldogs this year. But that's a team that is often in our rankings throughout the year, so it definitely would not surprise me to see them head back up into that mix, especially after even the first week. We're going to touch on this in a second. Several of these teams are going to play each other, so someone's either moving up, staying still, or some might have the opportunity to move out as well. So Odom Owls, same thing, a really consistent program over the years. Coach Huerta does a great job with the Owls. Finished in third place, I believe, in the district last year. They won the district 2 years ago. So they're another team that I think has something to prove this year. So a few question marks. John Inahosa, really good running back for them. 28, I almost said home runs, still in baseball mode. 28 touchdowns for them last season. So he's back, should give them a pretty big boost. And then the Bishop Badgers, again, this is another team that has a new head coach, David McHugh. Now, they are coming off a shared district title last year. And so Coach McHugh, he told me he's wanting them to have more fun this year. They were already really good, and he just wanted to take that program and kind of take it to the next level. But really good job of them winning the district last year. I'm really excited to see what he can do with them. Came over as the Ingleside offensive coordinator last year, and I think they're projected to have a really big season.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the ones to watch. Now we're going to get into it.
Yeah. So before you start number 5, so this is again one of the ones I went kind of back and forth on. The good thing is, okay. Let me preface these rankings. So people always say, well, so and so is ranked higher, but number 2 would beat number 1 if they played. So the thing with these rankings is that they do mix some classes. So not all of these teams play each other. Obviously, if it's settled on the field, then you have a pretty good indicator of which one should be higher, right? But they don't always play each other. So you have to kind of project which team is going to have the better season against its competition.
This is the whole point of this show.
Right.
I always ask him, how are you doing this? What are the criteria?
So
now we all know.
I equate our system to the old bowl system in that, voters essentially would pick a national champion because it was whatever the number 1 team is after all the bowl games have been played, but you wouldn't necessarily have agreement. That's why you had split national champions back in the day. So that's kind of the same argument here, that how is this team going to do in their district? How are they going to do in the playoffs down the line? All that factors into the Blitz rankings, not just head-to-head.
Okay.
That being said,
let's see. I want to see what they are. All.
Okay, top number 5.
Let's see number
from
5,
the small schools, 3A and 2A. The London Pirates. So, again, before I get into London, the good thing about this matchup is you're going to have London and Bishop facing off week 1 this week. That is a Thursday night game, so they will be in the first set of games.
Baby Blitz. That's the Baby Blitz.
The Baby
Thursday.
Blitz. So I can tell you, whoever wins that game will probably take that spot.
Okay, so good. Got something to play for.
So David McHugh, from Bishop can go show his guys, hey, we're just on the outside looking in. Let's get into the top 5. So now let's get into, we talked about Bishop. Let's get into the London Pirates. Again, new head coach, Andy Smith, coming in. Longtime Coastal Bend coach coming back to the Coastal Bend. Was at GP for a while, at King, I believe. And, the thing with the Pirates is they always have a really good program, but they've only had one head coach their entire history, like 14 years.
That's got to be good for consistency. Yeah?
Absolutely.
You can start getting into the middle schools maybe.
But again, this is now changing. So Coach Moreno is out, and Coach Smith is a great coach. Yeah. It's just, can he keep that consistency going? Now, the problem with London is, and it's not a problem for them, but they are in a really, really tough district. I would argue that it is the toughest Coastal Bend district, at least at the top, just to crack that top 4. You've got state-ranked teams, Edna and Goliad, who by some metrics are in the top 10. Goliad, I want to say, start 15th to start the year. But then you've got Orange Grove, who might see again here soon. But all those teams are really good and state ranked, and so, not that you're essentially competing against some of the best in the state.
Good. That's good. That makes everybody better. I feel like if you're a pirate, or your team name mascot is a pirate, you're usually ranked pretty high.
Yeah.
In
For
some
the most
fashion.
part, yeah.
Yeah. Was this the next one where you're saying, oh, this is a tough one?
That was a tough one between London and Bishop. But like I said, that's easy to fix. And this is two. We're going to talk the next two, but right now just pop number 4.
Okay.
So we've got the George West Longhorns coming in at number 4, coming off a district title. But again, I'm going to start sounding like a broken record. That's not the last time I'm going to say this either. A new head coach, but a good one. Rod Blunt coming in from Geronimo Navarro. He was an assistant at George West for 9 years, also the former Mathis head coach. He brings his son Cohen Blunt with him, fullback for the Longhorns, and he is the named by Dave Campbell as the preseason player of the year, offensive player of the year in the district.
That's big expectations.
That's big expectations for the Longhorns. Now, let's go to number 3, the San Diego Vaqueros, also a defending district champion and also a new head coach, Matthew Garcia, coming in for longtime head coach Bo Ochoa. So again, that's the big thing. Like, can he keep that going? And these, again, are two that I went really back and forth over. Mm-hmm. They've been good rivals over the last, 10, 15 years or so. And so that's a matchup I'm really excited for. And I can tell you, we are heading out to George West, a little other exclusive.
Yeah, okay.
Heading out to George West for that game on Friday. So again, these rankings, just projections right now.
But it's nice to see the thought behind it. Yeah.
And so really that one, it was flip a coin. I think those teams are really on equal footing. And, we'll see what happens come Friday.
No mention of the sound bite.
The
sound. That's why I thought you put them number. Can we go there or no?
I don't have. Yeah, you can.
We don't have to go there.
I don't have the clip, but
I might have to post it somewhere.
Yeah, the old the San Diego pep rally from back in the day. I wonder what that kid's up to nowadays.
It just was like it was. He was so excited that it was so loud.
One of our former reporters, Sarah Costa, doing a live shot with the Vaqueros at a pep rally before a game, and what did he say? He said,
you know it better than I do. It was just
hard
to
hear it in my head. He sounded like the guy from The Water Boy, the
coach that you can't understand.
Yeah, can't understand. Yeah. And he said, we're the San Diego Vaqueros. Of course we're ready for them. The question is, are they ready for us? But he said it like, well, the San Diego Vaqueros, of course we're ready for them. The question is, are they ready for us?
It was like 5 a.m. He was amped. It was like the first Friday night. It was just a good TV moment.
All-time Channel 3 clip.
Yeah, it was good. We all like loved it here.
All right, do we have any?
We're getting questions about the bigger schools right now. So a lot of Alice stuff, some Ray Texan questions coming in. Typically, I'll just hold off on those until we get there because we are going to get there.
Yeah.
We've got to get to number 2 and 1 though with the 2A and 3A.
I'm seeing if there are any small school questions so far.
You can also reveal it too if you want.
Oh, it's okay. I don't touch the weather clicker.
We're going here.
Number 2, the Orange Grove Bulldogs. Jared Johnston. I'm not going to say his team was a surprise last year because he has a great coaching pedigree. Came over from Schertz Clemens last year. He was an Orange.
That's a big school.
That is a huge school in the San Antonio area, and a successful one too.
Yes.
Came home to his alma mater. I don't remember the year he graduated, 92, 93, something like that. And he had his team ready to go. And you don't always see that with first-year head coaches, even experienced ones like him, bringing a new system over. They lost their quarterback in week 4. In a game against Edna, state-ranked Cowboys, top 5 in the state. They could have easily folded. Now, they did lose that game 28-0, but it was 7-0 at the time in the third quarter when he went down. Well, Lyndon Rodriguez comes in, and he actually replaced his brother. His brother, Logan, was the one that got hurt. Little brother Lyndon comes in, has a great rest of the season under center. Yeah. So, unfortunately, Logan graduated. He, finished his high school career. Lyndon comes in, and now he started over half the season for Orange
He's
Grove.
ready.
He's ready. And so now, you essentially have an experienced starting quarterback coming back for the Bulldogs. And, they're recognized in Dave Campbell's as well, number 21 to start the year.
What year is he in, the quarterback?
I want to say he is a junior this year.
He's
Don't quote me, but I want to say he's a junior this year.
Possibly 2 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
that's big. Yeah.
that's big. So, the Bulldogs, I think they're primed for a really good year. Now, you might think, well, what if they finish third in their district? And you know what? That's a valid point. But again, that district, I mentioned it with London, is one of, if not the best in the Coastal Bend. The 4A Sinton, Ingleside, Rockport district's very good too. But I would say just from a state ranking perspective, that district is one of the best in the state. So if you finish third or even fourth in that district, you're still going to have a good chance. As long as you make the playoffs in that top 4, you're going to have a shot to do some damage in the playoffs.
We're getting some preemptive comments about who number 1's going to be.
Okay, so
I feel like even I may have a chance of getting this one.
I will say that, look, you know it, I know it. There's usually not any suspense for number 1 in the rankings because they're really in a class all by themselves. The Refugio Bobcats. Now, even though Refugio usually is the number 1 team in our small school rankings, they are not only number 1 in our Blitz rankings, they are number 1 in the state to begin the season.
Okay,
2A
so
Division 1.
When you say that, when you say in the state, because I know we have them split up 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A. I know there's 6A.
Yeah.
Right? So in the state, is that like they're top of everybody?
Yeah.
Or just
so now they have the rankings split up. They used to just do all 2A, all 3A. Now they have 2A Division 1, 2A Division 2.
Oh,
so now
man.
essentially there's 50 teams ranked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's getting.
But
yeah. Okay.
So in 2A Division 1, Refugio is ranked number 1. They are actually ranked ahead of Ganado, the team that sent them home the last 2 years, last year in the 3rd round. And so Ganado went on to win the state championship last year as well. Mm-hmm. And Drew Cox, his guys tell me that really ate at them in the offseason like bad. So, not only to lose to the same team 2 years in a row, but then to see them go on and win what they thought was their state title, really not rubbed them the wrong way. I mean, it's not, anyone's fault, but a little extra motivation for Refugio this year. And so even with, an all-new backfield, new quarterback, new running back, Refugio, they still return actually more than Ganado. Ganado only had 2 or 3 back on both sides of the ball. So it'll be a young Ganado team this year. But Ganado, that being said, Ganado's ranked number 2 in the state. So there's a decent chance that it'll be 1 versus 2 when it's all said and done later in the playoffs.
I remember you were talking about the running back out in Refugio, the fastest kid in the state. When did he graduate?
Ernie Campbell, a couple of years ago.
Okay,
he wasn't on last year's team. So they definitely missed him last year. He was primarily a receiver for Refugio, but they definitely missed his speed. But the thing with Refugio is
next man up,
and they're always going to have like 200 kids in the school and like 80 play football. So
the rest are in the marching band.
Yeah, exactly.
So question now, this isn't on the rankings. I'm going to put them back up. Is there a team maybe not on here or that is on here that you would say is a possible sleeper? I know you go out, you see them all firsthand. Sometimes teams will have a vibe or like a moxie, or they just have that it factor. When you're going out seeing any of these, it could be on the list somewhere, but did a team have that going on?
Yeah, I mean, and some of these I filmed myself, some of these again, Refugio is always that's almost like a cheat answer.
Yeah.
Bishop was a team that if I had to circle one, I would say be on the lookout for them. And again, it's kind of weird saying they came off a shared district title last year, but that's a team that they in the past few years they've made the playoffs, but then go kind of one and done type thing. I want to see if McHugh can kind of take that next step with them and push it further into the postseason.
So Bishop's home of former Channel 3 morning reporter Maddie Salinas.
Yep.
We'll see.
Badger.
Yeah, we'll see how they go. I'm going to put this list up one more time. Are there any final thoughts on the 2A, 3A? We're starting to get some questions on the 4A, 5A. It looks like there's a lot of interest in the 5A, 4A division. A lot of Miller questions, a lot of so Alice is coming up.
I'm really excited to see, the good thing about this is that a lot of these teams are going to play each other and right off the bat, so we don't even have to wait. Like I said, London Bishop on Thursday, San Diego, Georgia West, Orange Grove and London going to play down the line in district. So we're going to find out about some of these teams really quickly. And, again, it's week 1. So don't be offended if all this changes next week. We're seeing these teams, like you are a lot of times for the first time. So
that's the beauty
and some of
it,
these
though.
new coaches as well.
I just enjoy the backstory to all of it.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned, and it they've got a QB that went down last year, and now they got a new one here, new head coach there. So it puts that extra layer of perspective into it.
Yeah.
I've got your 4A, 5A rankings queued up here. I'm just going to pull it up because we're going to have to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But just like we did with the small schools.
Okay, so.
Yeah, we've got the teams to watch.
Yeah, so I had even more down here for the teams to watch. And some of these were really hard to rank. I think more this year than any other year. We've got a lot of parity, especially in the large school rankings. I think on any given day, most of these teams could beat each other. We'll just so these are some of my teams to look out for. Kingsville King, really good year last year. Another team with a shared district title. Ruben Garcia doing a great job with them. The big thing is their defense, and that was a big point of emphasis he told me this year, stopping the run defense. It killed them in all 3 of their losses, including in the playoffs to Rockport Fulton. Can they stop the run? That's something I want to see from the Brahmas this year. Toloso Midway has arguably the best running back in the area. Damian Figueroa, the kid, is a stud.
He's going to be Play of the Week nominee then.
I'm sure
at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a high possibility.
He'll get a few he-gons.
Yeah, last year against London had over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns just in the second half against the
300
Pirates.
yards and a half. Sign him up for my fantasy team.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
He's really good. We got to see, they can kind of put some of the pieces around him to make it, more complete. Rockport Fulton, Eric Souza, I was really impressed with his first year last year as a head coach. That's one of the teams that I really think can do some damage. Now, again, the thing with them is that they're in that what I call one of the toughest districts. I think it's just slightly less tough than that 3A Edna Goliad district, but you've got Cuero, you've got Sinton, Ingleside, Robstown, some quality.
Some big names in there.
So we'll see if Coach Souza can have his team, competing, near the top or up in that mix as well. So now we got some 5A teams that are used to being in the rankings and used to being in the rankings, I would say most times, to start the season. But Veterans Memorial, that's a team, Ben Bittner's squad, they've got a lot of questions heading into this season. So I'm not going to say they overachieved because you always expect a lot out of Vets, right? But they really hit their stride at the end of the year. They beat Flower Bluff. A lot of people thought that district was Bluff's to take after they beat PSJ North. They get a win over Bluff in overtime, but they lost a lot. That's the thing, is they lost a lot. So
were they bad?
No, they were never loss. Bad. No. Well, they did lose to PSJ North, but they lost a decent amount of talent. The thing with Vets is, let's say, when they play Miller this week, like they lost to Miller by a good chunk, last year. I don't know. Miller's got a lot of questions too, but I could see, them just wanting to get better. Bittner is good at, let's try and win this game, but if we don't, it's not going to tank our season type thing. It's a non-district game.
Okay.
And so Vets is a team that I very easily could see getting better throughout the year. The good thing is that district is really top-heavy. You've got PSJ North should be really good this year. You've got Flower Bluff. But, you got a lot of winnable games other than that. So you don't want to say anything bad, but it's a big district. So you're going into district, I want to say week 2 in that, week 3. And so, the good thing is that they'll not necessarily have time to get better, but they'll have a chance to get better in some of those district games.
Relatively new school with respect to how old some of these schools are, but I know they've got a winning pedigree. I remember a few years back they had that huge game over at Buck Stadium.
Yeah.
It was, I think, like cold and windy, or windy, not cold. I don't remember what.
Yeah.
Was it against Flower
That
Bluff?
might have been. They've played Bluff there. They played Bluff there last year.
Okay.
The district championship. Maybe PSG North a couple of years ago in the playoffs.
They had the tall quarterback.
Maybe it was the PSG North game. But, I think Vets will be fine throughout the year. So, it would not surprise me to see them in the mix later in the season. Now, this next team is the one I originally had in the 5th spot coming into the rankings, but Gregory Portland, Brent Davis, again, does a great job with them. He was actually just elected president of the Texas High School Coaches Association, so that tells you what the rest of the state thinks of the job that Coach Davis does. They are ranked number 22 by Dave Campbell's to start the year. I have a few questions about GP. Like their quarterback, 2-year starting quarterback. Basically 2-year starting quarterback, graduated. Cody Adame does a great job running back, but they're a team. They started out slow last year. They started out 0-4 last year, really revved it up, but then they had a home playoff game against Victoria West, and Coach Davis was telling us they let that one get away. They were up 14-0 on Victoria West, had some key turnovers. Warriors came back, beat them at home. So that's a team that I want to see them kind of answer some of those questions, and they're going to have a chance to do that right away, even if they can put on an impressive performance.
Is it the Battle of the
Wildcats against
that's a big
Cal Allen?
tradition.
So you're going to see Cal Allen in this list, but always a huge game. GP, I want to say they probably maybe have a little bit something to prove in that game against Cal Allen.
Chip on the shoulder sometimes can propel you, so we'll see how that one plays out. So now we're going to get right into the big schools, the 4A, 5A ranking. Who do you got at 5?
Okay, at number 5, we have the Alice Coyotes. So again, I was going back and forth, Alice and GP. So again, Alice has questions. Their quarterback transferred. You're gonna find out where.
That was interesting. You were mentioning that. Yeah, that's interesting. So that's a little question mark.
Yeah. So they lost the district MVP. So that's a huge question mark. Now, why I put Alice at number 5 just ahead of GP is that I think the Coyotes have a good chance to win that district. Not that GP can't. GP has a chance to win its district too. I just think Alice has a better chance to win its district. That Valley district, not as strong as some of the others down there. So, I think it's the same thing with Alice. You could see them stumble a couple times in the early season. I think by the end of the year, Coach Castellano is going to have them ready to go.
Yeah, tip-top shape. All right, who we got at 4?
Not yet.
Okay.
But that's another thing. The good thing is that, again, those two teams play each other, Alice and GP. But I want to say, I think I had it written down week 5. So, it's going to be, there's a lot that can happen between now and then.
So I think of the rankings and really a forecast too. It's like you got a wrinkled pair of khaki pants or shirt. You sit there and you iron it out, and eventually you smooth it all out. Everything's good. We know exactly where everybody's ranked and how it shakes out.
You might even see, there's a chance you could see like an 0-1 team in the rankings next week. It depends on who they play, quality of competition. Got to get the chair back up. Quality of competition, and how did you look in that game?
Style points.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you didn't play necessarily overly well in that game, Miller is going to play DeSoto later in the year, and
that's
getting ahead of myself. But I'm not going to penalize a team too much for playing a team like that, or even a Refugio against an Edna. If they were to fall in that game, I wouldn't probably penalize them too much because they're going out and playing that tough competition.
So they're looking for it, even though it's outside of their district, and that that's a good thing.
Those coaches look at it as those teams are going to get you better come playoff time.
Yeah, so they're not as worried about going undefeated. They want their team battle tested. Ready to go.
They don't want necessarily to be 10-0. You could be 9-1, 8-2, and say, hey, if we played some good ball in those games or some things we could take away to use for the future, that's a win for them.
Yeah, that's good to know actually how they plan all that stuff.
Okay, so at number 4. we have the Flower Bluff Hornets. So we mentioned Lucian Cruz, the quarterback, leaving Alice. He's the reigning district MVP for the Coyotes. He goes to Flower Bluff and replaces the school's all-time passing leader in Jaden Pelucio.
He graduated, right?
He graduated, went to UTRGV.
Okay.
And so it's, the rich get richer sometimes, and that's, the case this year with the Hornets. But, the thing is, and he's been starting now for, I want to say, this is his third year coming in and as a starter. And so you have all that experience, and that's so invaluable. And so, Coach Elwood, started with Darrell Andrus and then Steinbrook, who's now the superintendent, and now Coach Elwood. They keep it rolling over there at Bluff.
Yeah.
There's no rebuilding.
It's a good sports.
Yeah, it's reload at Flower Bluff. And that's what I think they've done now. The Bluff, they've got PSJ North is going to be really good again. Bluff snuck by them last year. They beat Vets last year. PSJ North's got a lot of kids back. So that's another tough district at the top. Not necessarily throughout the rest, but at the top, that's a pretty loaded district as well.
Can we just acknowledge how jacked the Hornet is on the Flower Bluff logo? I want whatever protein
he
he's
looks like he maybe got a hold to that Mark McGuire stuff, Sammy Sosa stuff from back in the day.
Back in the 90s, something. Yeah, that mascot, yeah.
Little B12 there, yeah.
FB. Here we go.
FB12.
Yeah, I was looking for something. I couldn't find it. Who's at 3?
All right, at number 3.
It's getting stressful in the comments over here now,
so
too.
Let's see.
Yeah. It's just, people are trying to predict what you're going to say.
We have Quentin Martinez here from the Caller Times.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm going to hear from some of these rankings.
I'll look and see if I can find some questions while we're going on with the top 3 now in the area for the big schools.
Okay, so the good thing about these is that most of these, in fact, I think all of these are going to play each other. So here we go. At number 3, we have the Sinton Pirates, Mike Troutman's team, coming in. And this is a team coming off a region final appearance. They fell to Wimberley and what turned out to be an amazing football game. They were down 2 touchdowns late, came back, or I think it was 17 points they were down, something like that late. They scored 2 touchdowns, got 2 onside kicks, and had the ball in their hands with a chance to win at the end. Just couldn't get it done. But Coach Troutman, he's another coach that no matter what he loses, he's always going to have his guys ready to compete both for a district championship and for a deep playoff run.
Sinton, I feel like just, we've both been here for over 10 years. I think you've been here 15 or so, 16 years.
Just celebrated 16, yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
It seems as though Sinton, over the last 5 years, their athletic program, maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but it seems like both their baseball and football programs have just taken
They've
off.
taken it to the next level. Yeah, baseball, I think, kind of started that with that big class that Coach Alanis had. And football, Troutman's really run with it as well. Back in the day, the early 2000s, Sinton was and they're still a Coastal Bend powerhouse.
With Coach K?
I think he was on that staff a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, they were really good. And
baseball, I was thinking,
baseball has always been good.
Yeah.
But even football went to a state championship game back in 2001, I want to say. So they've had that experience for a long time, and now just Troutman's really got them playing consistent football. And the good thing for them is that kind of like what we saw with Orange Grove and the quarterback. Their running back, Derek Garcia, got hurt last year. Micah Green came in, had a great year. And so now you could almost argue he is like a starting running back coming back in. We have a running gag here. Leslie Adamy is off to the side.
And
we're
going to
say,
come over. She's coming over.
Pirates. Sinton Pirates.
She might. Because we just mentioned her alma mater.
We did.
It's like shining a bat
Here she comes.
symbol into the night sky. Uh-oh. Special guest.
So, Leslie Adamy. Sit in. So what do you think of the Pirates?
This is where Chris has them ranked.
I'm
right
clearly
now.
very biased. What?
That's bad?
You just saw the
What
rankings
is that?
first time, yeah.
Okay, so we have like 20 teams, like in each set of classes. So I mean, that's pretty high. That's pretty good.
Hey, I'm used to Sinton's number one, man.
Number one in your heart.
In my heart, on the field, on the court, in the community.
You beat Rudy last year with the bet against
Yes,
Beeville.
yes.
Are we having another Anchor Bowl this year?
That'll also be in spirit, but no.
Okay. All right.
The planning, there's a lot of logistics, but because they're playing Beeville.
They are.
Yeah.
Friday, yeah.
Which is why I wore my Longhorn blazer on the air today.
So you're not wearing the orange Friday?
So I'm not wearing it on orange.
Okay.
Now we know.
So now
we know.
That was very important information.
Yes.
My prediction is that number 3 ranking is going to go up, going to keep going up,
Okay.
and then stay up there.
Okay.
Let's go Pirates!
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
thank you for the guest cameo here.
I love it.
Yeah. So the good thing, we'll let Alan fix the mic there. The good thing, again, about these is that all these teams play each other. So Sinton is going to play each.
I just dropped
hold on.
I got it. Yeah. I'm trying to set the. We're sharing this microphone. We're not both mic'd up. We just thought it'd be easier this way. And I think we're okay now.
Okay.
Again, yeah. If it's crackling, I'm sorry.
So again, the good thing about these rankings is that these teams play each other. So as soon as we get the mic,
I think it's
sorted.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Perfect. Good setup there.
Okay, so we can go ahead and pop number 2.
Going to. Oh, I forgot we were on camera there. So Sinton, sorry, Leslie Adamy, number 3. 2.
The Cal Allen Wildcats, Charlie Reeves' team, coming in year 2 under Reeve. They had a really good year last year. Went to the 3rd round, first year under Reeve, coming over from Victoria East. The thing with Cal Allen is their defense. They've got 7 back on defense, and they've looked really strong. They had a good scrimmage 2 weeks ago against Miller. That defense looked really solid. Had 2 pickses. I want to say maybe they were 2 pickses. I want to say they were pick sixes, both of them. But
it could be a new term. Pickses.
Yeah, pickses. But Cal Allen, I think, is primed for a really big year. They've got, Tolosa Midway, good rivalry game in the district, but, that's a very winnable district that they're in. So they play a pretty stacked non-district schedule, just like a lot of teams do, but to help get them ready for what they're going to see down the line.
Cal Allen, like you said earlier, how some of these teams will go around and look for the higher competition, some of the bigger schools, to try to get some exposure for their kids. Case in point, I went to San Antonio Clark. Cal Allen would go up to San Antonio. Clark would come down to Cal Allen, and they would play every year back and forth. And I remember them always being really good. And I had the perspective of being in the marching band. Their marching band program, I keep going back to that.
They go to state a lot.
They're great.
Yeah.
So Cal Allen's got it going on.
They've got the pedigree, but they play Sinton. They're going to play Alice. They play GP week 1.
The gauntlet. Wow.
They just scrimmaged Vets last week, so they play TM in that matchup. So again, Reeves going to have them ready to go, and I think I saw them. I think actually if I remember, the second day of practices, and he just already seemed to have them, looking pretty good.
So they may have some of that moxie I was asking about earlier.
Oh, Cal Allen, definitely has that moxie.
Yeah. We're getting down to it. I'm going to try to scroll through some of these comments because there's a lot of questions that I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, I'll let you
about it. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of filter on them. But we're at the top of the list, 4A, 5A.
The good thing about rankings is that they can definitely elicit emotion out of people.
I mean, you saw it with Leslie Adamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Top of the list. Is this going to be a surprise?
No
surprise?
Shouldn't be.
I see a lot of people saying it's going to be Ray.
Is not.
It's not Ray.
Now, they could be a team to look out for this year, but
it
will not be Ray at number 1. Won't be.
Okay.
I saw a comment earlier on Facebook, Moody, number 1. Won't be Moody.
Saw that one too.
No.
Yeah.
But you're getting warmer.
Okay. By location?
Yeah.
We're getting down.
By district.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Number 1.
Wait for it. Oh, watch the clicker die. Okay, we've got the Miller Buccaneers at number 1. Now, this comes with a little bit of a caveat. Miller's got some big questions this year, too. I mean, they've lost the school's all-time leading passer. They lost the school's all-time leading rusher. So Trevor Long and Broderick Taylor. So you think, why do you have him number one, right? Evans has gotten to the point, and he's really worked his tail off at Miller to get to this point. Miller has seemed like now it's one of those programs where it's not a rebuilding year, it's a reloading year. Next kid up type, and they've gotten some kids come in. And so they're going to be pretty good. Now, we got to see, I think there's going to be some maybe kinks to work out week 1 against Vets. I think he's going to have them ready to go. Of course, the big one, again, I mentioned it earlier, DeSoto, week 3. Now,
is that in the Alamodome?
It was in the Alamodome last year. It's at Buck Stadium this year,
goodness,
September 13th, Saturday,
That's gonna be
September
packed.
13th. It's a huge game.
Wow.
That's probably the best opponent any local team has faced at Buck Stadium, or really inside the city limits in 40 years, 50 years.
That's a big name.
You know, that's a game like, look, Miller was down 35, 38 nothing, something like that at the half. Came back in the second half against DeSoto, essentially played them to a draw. Now, DeSoto pulled some guys in the second half, but Miller played really well in that second half. So that's, again, a game that Miller, they want to just compete. They want to see how their guys do against this tough competition that they are hoping they see down the line in, say, a region final again. They went to the region final last year against Bernie, fell in that game. Dave Campbell's actually has them going back to the region final this year and beating Bernie, predicted to beat Bernie, but we will see. And so, they beat Alamo Heights last year. Michael Terry,
Big
now
game.
at UT,
Yep.
That was a huge game. And so, Miller, it's like I said, the thing with the preseason is I equate Miller to Texas and being ranked number 1. Like, do you think Texas right now is the best team in college football? I probably wouldn't say so.
Mississippi State.
Yeah, it's not Mississippi State. But, can they get to be the best team in college football? Absolutely.
They got a high ceiling.
They have a high ceiling, and I think that's the case with Miller, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, we'll see how this plays out over the next few weeks. But I think Miller's got a really good shot at the district. And, the thing with that district, you want to finish 1 or 2. So, you're going to have to see a Bernie, Alamo Heights anyway down the line. You preferably not want to see them in the first round at their place. But, get that ball rolling and get that confidence going. So then, taking into those big-time matchups down the line.
How long has Coach Evans been at Miller?
He's been there, I want to say, about 10 years now.
Okay, so he's built, because it seems like some of these schools, you see a clear trend, like with Sinton on the way up, Miller they're
and
really
the thing with
up.
Miller is like, you take over a Sinton, you take over Cal Allen, those are schools that are already in really good shape. Like, you have to put in the work, but like it's not a huge amount of work. Miller, it was the exact opposite. Evans, like that was one of the teams that you're like, okay, well maybe we can skip them this week, or okay, we'll go get a couple of touchdowns the other team, head out, right? That's not the case anymore with Miller. Like, they are one of the cream of the crop, and now they've become a program that has a target on their back. When they face a Cal Allen, or when they face a Sinton beat them last year. That was a huge win at Buck Stadium for Coach Troutman's team, but like Sinton got up a little extra for that game. And, kudos to Coach Evans for getting the Bucks to be that point where now they are one of the hunted teams in the Coastal Bend.
So am I allowed to talk about the new thing that you're doing on the Blitz this year? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can mention it.
I only mention it because...
Now, I'm not going to mention any of the guests yet.
No, I can't. Oh, that was going to be my transition.
No,
so I'm
we're
not going to...
We're not going to...
Okay.
We'll say... But...
Tell them the idea, what's happening. It's
okay,
cool. This
so
is
we're going to
really
host
cool.
a little coaches corner on the Blitz this year. So the goal is we're going to hope to bring in a new coach every Friday night. Like, if their team isn't playing that night, whether it's a bye week or a Thursday game, try and bring a coach in near the end of the show, talk about their team a little bit.
During the Blitz.
During the Blitz. Some weeks it'll be live. Some weeks it'll be taped. It just depends on how far the coach has to drive. We don't want them driving back at 11 o'clock, far places. But, just, fill a few minutes and talk about their team. Maybe have them show the play of the week at the end like we usually do. Have them talk about the play of the week, that type thing.
That's going to be a cool segment, especially with I've seen some of the names.
I have my ideas for the first few weeks. I want it to be a surprise. We gotta not pull back the entire curtain. So
Yeah.
I have my first 2 or 3 really lined up.
I'm glad I asked because I was about to spill some beans there.
No.
We had a question on here. I thought it was a really good question on our
Okay.
Channel 3 Facebook page. The question, I can't find it, but I remember. Oh, here it is from Robert Garza.
Okay.
What's your best rivalry game to attend?
Ooh. Oh, man, that is good. That is a good question. So
I'm assuming local. We're not talking Texas versus like whatever.
I'm trying to think. So, okay, so I put now a bigger emphasis on playoffs. Like, can these teams play in the playoffs? And so in the past, I would say Cal Allen GP, because when I first got here, I think that was Coach George Harris's last game was a loss to Danaher in the playoffs. Like, that was a really big, I think it was at Cabinets, if I remember, like a huge game. But now those two can't play in the playoffs anymore. So I think maybe it's lost.
Yeah.
It's still a great game. Don't get me wrong. They play every year.
Yeah.
You know, then you have like a Cal Allen Flower Bluff. That was a great rivalry. They don't play every year. So that also factors into it. I prefer one where they play every year. So I was going to say Miller Vets because it's two, different types of cultures, north side, south side. But again, they can't play in the playoffs anymore. Now, they had an absolute classic, at Buck Stadium. I was 56-49, absolutely amazing game.
That was a playoff game, right?
It was a
that
playoff
was the
game.
One.
Yeah, they had 10,000 people, something like that, at Buck Stadium. I've never seen Buck Stadium like that. But
Not
again,
when we fly by in the parade.
Yeah, no.
It's not
Well,
like
we don't do that in the stadium anymore.
No, well, we did that once,
I
pass
think,
through.
yeah. But
Yeah.
so I think that one just gets lowered just a slight notch. I'm going to go Vets and Flower Bluff. Now, this again is not the all-time best because again, Vets doesn't have that long history of the two playing each other. But now they're back in the same district, the Yorktown Showdown. They played in the state quarterfinal against each other 2 years in a row. Like, that's literally the biggest game you could get against those two because, once you win the region, you're going and facing, Houston area Region 3 teams up there. And so that's literally the biggest game you could get between those two. And they played each other 2 years in a row. And that second one, again, was just an all-timer at Flower Bluff, the game that Bluff won in the final seconds. And so for my money right now, I would say Bluff and Vets. But a sleeper one, which these two teams don't dislike each other per se. It's just been a really, really good rivalry the last 10 years or so. You heard me mention it earlier. San Diego, George West, really underrated game. Like those two, they're just two gritty, hard-nosed teams. Alan, I think, is going to pop up the small school again. That's just a really gritty, hard-nosed game. You see number 3 versus number 4 in the small school rankings. Like those two teams, are going to be in the playoffs every year, or at least close to every year. And I'm excited to see that game Friday night, basically just as much as I'm excited to see, Miller Vets, Cal Allen GP on Thursday, Friday.
Do you think that, as we're talking about rivalry and some of the history between the schools, do you think that the kids at the schools, do they know each other, or do they just
absolutely.
Know of each other? They know each other.
Social media has
Really?
changed everything in the last 15 years. Like these kids, they talk to each other, they taunt each other. The coaches,
Social media stuff?
The coaches wish they wouldn't, but they do. It happens. And so I think that has added, another dynamic. But a lot of times these guys are friends too on these teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's changed. I think maybe some of the hatred has worn off. Now maybe I'm overstepping a little bit, but I think those days of
King Carroll. Was
King
that a
Carroll,
big one? That was a big rivalry.
That was a big rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hadn't been just because you want to see it's
Odom
a better
Taft.
Odom Taft
Seeing
is
some
a
big
good
ones,
one.
yeah.
The Neighbors, yeah. I would say those are kind of some of my big.
Yeah.
Cal Allen Alice, that's a big one. But again, now that Alice is 5A, that's again a matchup you won't see in the playoffs anymore. Even though they had some great, when Souza, Danaher, those matchups back in the day. and Alice beating them for the district title a couple years ago, like that's a really good rivalry that I would say is a really good historic one as well.
Someone asked about the weather forecast, and you know what,
That's
Chris?
not my area of expertise.
Just
look
so
what he had ready.
Just so happened to have it up. For the games, and I'm sure there are some on Saturday.
There are actually no.
Really?
I don't think any Saturday ones this week.
Okay.
I think we go at one next week.
Okay, well, then we're good.
Miller DeSoto in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we're good. Thursday, Friday, they're going to be the hottest 2 days of the week, but also the days without the little rain icon on them, and really low chance for rain. If I don't see, I'm not stressed about Thursday, Friday forecast. My most stressful part is that stationary boundary over the weekend.
I'm stressed about those temperatures a little bit.
It'll be hot this summer, really.
It is what it is.
If you're outside, it's hot. There's no way around it.
You're not going to feel it till early October or so outside?
October, I always say August is you just have to accept it. There's no real way around it. September, some of the edge of the worst humidity comes off, and then October you get with more regularity, the more comfortable weather. But this summer, I say it has not been as hot, and I don't say that to say that it hasn't been hot.
Yeah.
Just the last 2 summers have been insanely hot, and this year feels more like it should be this part of the world. So I'm just going to check the comments here. I think we're about done with everything.
Yeah, got to go get back to the season previews. I always say this is one of the most stressful weeks of the year because we've been doing these previews for 3.5 weeks now. I'm not going to lie, I'm over them a little bit, but just out every day. But it does give me a good chance to see a lot of the teams, so we can do stuff like these rankings, talk with the coaches. But now we're having to do the previews up until Wednesday, and then get ready for the first week of games. So you get that overlap there that is always fun for week 1.
And it's a sports department of 1.
Now it is, yeah.
Just insane the amount of work this guy does. So everyone appreciates you,
We've got 41, 42, 43 teams, something like that. So
and you cover I want to say on average every Blitz night, it's somewhere between 10 and 14 teams.
Now, those days might be. I don't know. We'll see.
Is that high expectations?
I don't know if we'll ever get back to the days of 14 again. But that's
it's at least double digits.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's the goal anyway. But we're also gonna bring in the coach. That's something new. So kind of offset some of that. But we also have some new shooters this year we're working in. So maybe give us a little bit of a leash for the first few weeks. While we work in some of the newbies, and I think it's be good. I think it's be a good season.
Yeah, it'll be good. Thanks for sharing the knowledge. I'm gonna log off.
I would say, we can have a live camera while we're putting the show together, but sometimes there's a lot of words that we can't necessarily, colorful language that we can't don't necessarily want going over air while we're racing.
They've got the beep thing in the back, so we're good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. If you watch Pat McAfee, that works really well. That 10-second delay.
Yeah.
By that I mean not really.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We're out of here. This was fun. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to do it every single week. Maybe we do a mid-year review or something.
Yeah.
Figure that out. But this was fun. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Until next time, we'll do the full rankings on our 10, yeah?
Yeah, show them again at 10 o'clock. We're going to have several games. I think the goal is 4 or 5 highlight games on Thursday, then 9 or 10 on the Blitz this Friday. So tune in to 3 News, 10 o'clock on Thursday, 10:35 for the Blitz on Friday. And I hope you like the sound of my voice because mine's the one you're going to be hearing this season on the show.
It'll be loud. It's good. We like it. We like it. All right. We're out of here. We'll see y'all.